Hello, veterans, DKV employees, everybody watching in YouTube land. Hey, welcome to the channel here at Veteran Lang with your friendly VA accredited attorney, Matthew Lang here. Hey, usually we pick a topic about VA disability and we have an educational discussion about that, but today is going to be a special video. We're still going to talk about VA disability, but I want to present you a replay from a radio interview I had the opportunity of doing on January 13th here with the local channel here in Phoenix, the channel being 1100 KFNX. I was on the Bill Brady show as he asked me some questions about the VA world, and I thought it would be great to replay this here for all of you here on YouTube so you could hear what those questions were and hear what those answers were. Now, fortunately, we get the opportunity to continue to do more interviews here on the Bill Brady Show. I believe the next one coming up here is this Saturday on the 24th of January. So look out for that if you can. You can stream from their website, I believe. That's 1100 KFNX. But at any time, veterans, you have, or even VA employees, you have any questions of us and that we can help train you on or educate, please feel free to throw those in the comments. But in the meantime, enjoy the replay of the interview here. And veterans, thank you for your service. And if you are in search of an attorney advocate to help you with your VA claim, then don't forget to reach out to us at veteranlang.com. Thank you again, everyone. Enjoy.
It's Talk Back Arizona with Bill Brady on 1100 KFNX. Let your voice be heard. To talk to Bill and all of Arizona, call 602-277-5369 in the Phoenix Metro. Statewide, call 866-536-1100.
Good afternoon. Bill Brady on the Pulse of Arizona, 1100 KFNX. Everybody knows a veteran. Many people listening today are veterans. You have brothers and sisters who are veterans, and many of them come back from their service in the military with things they are going to have to deal with. Matthew Lang is a veterans advocate. He's an attorney dealing with Veterans Administration issues. His firm is called Lang's Legal. They are located at 13991 West Grand Avenue in Surprise, Suite 100. To get in touch with Matthew, you can reach his law offices at 480-219-2101. 480-219-2101. Matthew Lang, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today on KFNX.
Yeah, good afternoon, Bill, sir. How are you? And thank you for having me.
I'm good. I watch a lot of TV, mostly Fox News, and so I see these commercials for things like Tunnel to Towers and other veterans organizations, and it breaks my heart because these people went off and served our country. They heeded the call, and they did what we asked them to do. But then, when they get back here, it is not always a case where they get what they have earned and rightfully deserve. So, thank you for coming on with us today. Tell me this, when you look at veterans, and you, I would imagine, and correct me if I'm wrong about this, you're probably dealing with, in terms of some of the cases you're dealing with, cases that involve more recent veterans than people who were in the Battle of the Bulge. But tell me what our veterans are dealing with today and what they're up against in terms of getting the services that they have earned.
Yeah, no, we actually, surprisingly enough, deal with veterans of a variety of age ranges, but you may be right there with some of the younger ladies and gentlemen there. But yeah, they come back. We focus in on the disability claims mostly. So they come back injured, whether it be something mental health-wise, kind of internal, something physically we can see. And they really got to fight with the VA system, unfortunately, in order to get those benefits they deserve to kind of help them out with their living costs, perhaps, or kind of supplement some of their income for the work they can't do anymore. We help them try to get through that system there and get them those benefits ultimately that they're entitled to for that VA disability. Whether it be like I said again, mental or physical, we're talking PTSD, we're talking about some sleep apnea perhaps, migraines, sinus issues, back issues, other joints, knees. I mean, there's so many things that veterans may be surprised that they could be entitled to that we can actually help out with.
Well, and you raise an interesting point there, because one of the things that I always say to people is be aware of what you don't know. And when somebody has gone off to fight for our country and they're not trained in the law, they haven't dealt with the VA before, but what should their thought process be if they are dealing with the VA, trying to get something they think they need, but they're not getting it? Obviously, they can call Matthew Lang and Lang's Legal at 480-219-2101, 480-219-2101. But what should they understand about the whole claims process and the appeals process in dealing with the VA?
Oh, yeah, great question. You're right. There's a lot of information out there, a lot of knowledge to try to understand. And somebody like myself or another accredited agent or VSO of some sort can definitely help them out with that. But this is what I usually tell most anybody, especially the veteran population. And when I train VA employees as well as I do, is try to narrow it down to the simplest form I could, is the veterans only got three elements they've really got to meet in the law. So they've got to identify what the in-service occurrence was. And a lot of times, that's not just saying it's got to be documented in their medical records in service. So whether they went to sick call or medical, that may not be necessary. We're talking about things where maybe they were in combat. That could be the event itself. Maybe they were exposed to some sort of noise exposure that most people wouldn't be exposed to. Those could be those occurrences. So that's really the first element we're looking for. We got to get them to find what in service could ultimately be that potential cause of the condition that they're having, and then we go through the idea of a current diagnosis or current symptomology of whatever they're suffering from, and ultimately we have to include medical professionals in the mix to help get that link between the current and the past. So that's usually what I try to tell veterans is even though the paperwork and stuff may be daunting, keep in mind that you only got three things to really prove or show in the process: that in service, the current, and then the link between the two of them.
Now, there is a VA hospital. We have the famous VA hospital in Phoenix that for a number of years you couldn't watch a national television newscast anywhere in the country without seeing the facade of that building. What is a veteran entitled to in terms of medical care from the VA after they leave the service?
Yeah, that's going to get a little more probably complex than what we can do here. So what I usually tell veterans is to know for sure, go down to your local VA facility and ask for their eligibility office. They may have to pay some copays depending on the number of years they served. But ultimately what we like to do is get that service connection on that compensation disability, because they'll definitely get free health care with those service-connected issues. And once we reach even to 100% level, we're talking free health care for anything and everything. So there's different levels to the healthcare side. And so I always recommend veterans go to the eligibility office and go ahead and register. I think you can even do it online now through a va.gov website, and they'll
give you the application process there for veterans to do, and then ultimately, see what you're eligible for in the end, and if there's any copays or whatnot.
So I want to remind people that we're speaking with Matthew Lang, veterans advocate. He is with Lang's Legal, located in Surprise, Arizona, 13991 West Grand Avenue, Suite 100, Surprise, Arizona, 85374. And Matthew's number is 480-219-2101, 480-219-2101. So if somebody has suffered something, and the PTSD thing is a good one. I've got a gentleman that I know who his son went through the PTSD thing. It wrecked his marriage. Is a little better shape today, but that's something that would certainly, you would think, in almost every case would be service related. Is that right?
Yeah, in most all cases, definitely. And what's nice about our laws is that there is some easier laws that allow the service connection of the PTSD, understanding the severity of it, and just the way the condition is. So it's always going to depend on the facts of the case of the veteran. But I would say 99.9% of the time from what I experience, that should definitely be a disability that veterans are getting something for.
What are the most common conditions, other than regular health issues? What are the most common conditions that a veteran would be dealing with that would be service-related?
From back here, we've already talked about the mental health. That's probably number one. Mental health, PTSD, anxiety, depression, insomnia, and the whole gamut there. The other big popular ones is anything with the joints we usually see because, veterans are wearing hundreds of pounds of extra gear, some even a couple hundred when they're carrying extra weapons, M60s and so forth, extra ammo, whatever they may be carrying, depends on kind of what their duties are. So we start noticing even the joints, the knees, the back, the hips, the ankles, everything in veterans seem to start to going out on them there because of, just enduring the physical training and some of the combat stuff and just the extra gear that they carry there. So joints are huge as well. We see a lot of migraine headaches as well that play a role in there. We also see a lot of sleep apnea claims. We see a lot of IBS and GERD, kind of heart or acid reflux type diseases as well. Sinusitis, rhinitis, and asthma are big ones that come off of even the PACT Act. So there's a lot of them out there. I could probably go down even a bigger list, but I would say those are probably the biggest top ones that we do see there.
One of the commercials that Tunnel to Towers is running right now is for a woman. It breaks my heart every time I see it. She had a husband who developed cancer, went into the lymph nodes. They told him that he was going to be treated. They were going to be able to treat him. He died the next day. She is quoted as saying his autopsy reads like an oncology textbook. 6 kids with this man. Obviously, Tunnel to Towers which is a great organization, has stepped up to help her. But the question I would have, and ironically, just before you came on, I was doing a commercial for an accident attorney, and part of the commercial is about the fact that insurance companies are not really your friend. Now, you would hope that the VA for veterans is more friendly, but what are the things that veterans have to battle with the VA in terms of claims and in terms of getting the service that they need and deserve that the VA isn't necessarily providing them?
Yeah, the VA just being such a big system, I think causes some issues, and they're designed originally to be more friendly and especially non-adversarial to the veteran. But you're right, we find challenges even within that. And, in all my experience where I got the opportunity to work within the VA, train individuals, mentor them, just do so much. And now even on the other side of the table here, as I call it, seeing so many things, I would say that the biggest challenge veterans are going to have is not necessarily having somebody look at the claim or their claim in a way that is going to address perhaps all the laws, the regulations, all the medical knowledge that's out there. Unfortunately, VA, for how many good people there are there that I worked with, even that are still there, they're not well trained, I think, when it comes to the aspects of that claim. And so a lot of times they may not realize what they're looking at, and it creates even more challenges for the veteran in the process. The other big issue that I think has been talked about even publicly is the idea that the VA is on a production-based system. We always found challenges there, even working claims now. I've seen stuff where it's very disheartening to see some office clearly was short their numbers for the month, and they just quickly slapped some junk together and denied a veteran when they never even looked at anything. So I think training and these standards that they have do cause a lot of challenges for the veterans, unfortunately.
For sure. And it's a bureaucracy. It's a healthcare organization, but it's also a bureaucracy. Matthew Lang of Lang's Legal, you are a veterans advocate. How did you get into this line of work, and what is it about it that is so fulfilling for you?
Yeah, I'll keep that story short for you because there's a big backstory there. But no, I at one point I'm a veteran myself. I was reserves for my whole career, a little more than 22 years. But part of that career led me to be what they call a military technician, where I was required to be a reservist, and I worked as a civilian during the week in the HR area. VA came along one day, and they wanted to share some information about who they were and kind of get their name out there to veterans more and help do some of that outreach stuff. In the process, they actually were looking for some records. I was able to help them out. It seems like we grew in a relationship there, and before I knew it, I was working for the VA. And the mission, just to help what I call my brothers and sisters in arms, is just something that's always gravitated towards me. The ability to go through the regulations, the rules as well, and look at the evidence and critically think about things and put things together in order to better somebody else's life, just seems to be something that brings me great joy and comfort, and especially the veteran population, and knowing or having at least an idea of what many have gone through. There's many veterans out there have gone through and way more than I have, but even my tour in Iraq, it was the idea of seeing how much does happen, and when you come back, how much veterans do struggle with things. So, the short end of the story is I think I was in the right place at the right time and fell in love with the mission and just never let it go. Even when I decided to come to law school, VA was fortunate enough to be able to transfer me offices and allow me to continue working while doing all that. And before I knew it, I'm like, I think I can do better for veterans if I leave the inside the system and come here to the outside and help them navigate it. So, short end of the story, just the love of the job, the love of the population, the love of veterans all together.
That's a good story. Is there one story that sticks out for you where you dealt with a veteran's case and it was kind of a mountain, but you managed to climb that mountain and achieve success?
Oh, wow, yeah, we got so many of those. I think we take on a lot of more complex claims than most people too. But, one recently, without getting into all the details, the confidentiality of it all, but I had a veteran, you think about the cancers and stuff, come to me, and he had been fighting for years and years with the VA. He had some other reps that did really well as far as they could go, but he was just at his wit's end, and he was ready to give up. And when he sat in front of me and I went through everything he had and we started representing, we realized that there was a lot of errors that the VA made along the way, and he should have been receiving way more earlier on. So we were able to get those mistakes fixed for him, and he got a good payout to help him financially, pay his bills and keep his house. And And yeah, it was just so rewarding to be able to do something like that.
Matthew Lang, God bless you, and you're doing the Lord's work in regard to helping veterans. I'm going to make a comment here, and I'll ask you for your reaction to it. You know, some of these guys do different things as veterans, and then when they leave the service, is it fair to say that they're not necessarily always well equipped to fight the bureaucracy, and therefore they need somebody like Matthew Lang to be in their corner?
Oh, for sure. I mean, even a veteran myself, I know when it was time for me to come home, even off of a deployment, and it was the idea that the last thing I was worried about was VA or anything else government, and so you may not get the information that you need there to understand how to navigate that system, or maybe you did and it just wasn't enough. So we even find that veterans who are discharging here or retiring from Luke Air Force Base over here near us, that we've been able to help them in the process too, in a way that they never would have imagined or they would have known what to do exactly. So yeah, having somebody like myself in their corner, and especially myself, just to promote myself more, I suppose there, selfishly. But yeah,
okay.
It's the idea of it's a really robust area of law. It's a lot of information, a lot of moving parts, and it can be very difficult to understand. And so having somebody like myself with that understanding, that knowledge, that firsthand experience inside the system can really make that process a lot easier on the veterans. And we like to pride ourselves in trying to take pretty much all the stress out of the veteran when it comes to the process as well.
Well, Matthew Lang, thank you for joining forces with us at KFNX. We will be talking to you a lot in future weeks. I applaud you for the work you do. People, if you're just coming into this, Matthew Lang is a veterans advocate. He is an attorney specializing in dealing with the VA processes, including the disability process. You can reach, if you have a situation and you want some help, you can reach Matthew Lang at 480-219-2101, 480-219-2101. Matthew Lang's legal office, Lang's Legal, is located in Surprise, Arizona at 13991 West Grand Avenue, Suite 100. Matthew, thank you. I look forward to talking to you soon.
Yeah, thank you, Bill. Yeah, I look forward to the future with you guys.
Okay, thank you.